It's actually happening. And not only do we have multiple huge Toronto Blue Jays updates to go over today, we have one key update surrounding Max Scherzer that is absolutely huge. We're going to break down exactly what that update is and discuss what it means going forward, as this has massive implications on this team. We also have some other very notable updates, including one surrounding a pitcher that is extremely exciting, as well as a few interesting stats you're going to want to stay tuned for, as the Jays continue to be the best team in baseball over the past few weeks. Before you can do it all, ladies and gentlemen, your guys' support has been unbelievable. You guys have been absolute beasts. If you're part of the 71% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Jays content. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying it. And thank you guys again for your continued support over here. The Jays are on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. There's no debating it. They are on absolute tear, and they have an off day today. So it's going to be an interesting one. You hate to have off days in the middle of, a very good run, but at the same time, the Toronto Blue Jays are in a point where, they're at a point now, where they can use the bullpen, rest days or starting rest days. But speaking of starters, let's dive into some big news that dropped yesterday. And this is surrounding Max Scherzer. And folks, we also have some other updates from after the game and things like that. Some new stuff that came out. Stay tuned. Max Scherzer. Friday is going to be mad fun. So this is tomorrow. Max Scherzer is to join the Bisons on an MLB injury rehab assignment scheduled to start for Friday at I believe it's in the nighttime. So this is an extremely interesting one. I believe it's 6:35 p.m. Eastern that the game starts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happening. Max Scherzer is going to be back to pitching against live hitters on an actual team in AAA. And not only is this massive news for the Toronto Blue Jays, but this pays big dividends going forward here. If he can make this start successfully, that means that he is going to be seemingly available here by around, like a week or two. We know, if you've been following the channel for a while, reports have come out that they want 2 rehab starts. So the first one we assume is going to be on Friday, and then the following one can be whenever the next, go around is. We're targeting a late June return. We could be in for, including an update surrounding Alek Manoah that you're going to want to stay tuned for here in a minute. We could be in for a lot of starters returning. And also, there's rumors that Ross Atkins is active in the phones for a trade regarding a starting pitcher. Video coming on that, later today as well. There's a bunch of different things coming for you all. But you can see this here. AAA Bisons from Ben Nicholson Smith at the top announced that Max Scherzer is scheduled to start for Buffalo this Friday at Salem Field. So his latest bullpen session presumably went well. Scherzer expected to throw 60 to 65 pitches. So we assume for his first start, he's going to throw 60 to 65 pitches. And then for his second start, he is going to throw, maybe get up to that 75, 80 pitch mark. But we know that Scherzer has constantly said since he went out with injury, that the thumb is an issue above 50 pitches. If he comes out on Friday and he pitches a good game, or the results don't really matter as much, how his hand and his thumb, returns following that 60 to 65 pitches is going to be critical, because if you can get him back in the lineup, he would instantly replace, the Eric Lauer, mix. And then you can have Eric Lauer kind of being piggybacking off of Bound Francis, which immediately allows you to have less of a leash, a shorter leash on Bound Francis, which is good because he's either on or he's off, and he's been off the majority of this season. So ladies and gentlemen, we might actually see the beast back. Max Scherzer, we're probably going to see him back very, very soon. And it is official. He is back to pitching in live games against major leaguers. Very, very exciting. A huge announcement. No setbacks from the past few bullpen sessions, the past few Florida Complex League games. He pitched Adel Show, all these different things. Kyle Schwarber stepped in the batter's box in one of the BPs there a week or so ago, a few days ago. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. This is extremely exciting, and not only extremely exciting, very, very good news that it is officially happening and that he is coming back. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a bunch of other updates to go over today. But again, let me know down below, A, if you're excited for this, and B, do you think he's going to pitch on the Toronto Blue Jays very soon? Because some people are already writing him off despite, his drive and things like that. But we have a few other updates to go over today. First of all, I want to start with this. Now, we all know how hot the Blue Jays are right now. We have an update surrounding Ernie Clement, an injury update. So the Blue Jays are 12-2 in the last 14. Yoel Rodriguez with his first career save. 12-2 in the last 14 is absurd. The Jays, this is the hottest they've been since 2021. And you could argue this is the most fun baseball the Jays have played in a very long time. And you can maybe argue this is the most fun baseball they've ever played in the the Vladdy and Bo era, though I'd argue probably 2021 with that Oakland series, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Marcus Semien, those guys. But Ernie Clement on the run the Jays are on. Every time we get punched in the mouth, we punch right back. That's just so exciting when they score a run and you score two. It's the most fun we've had as a group this year and in past years. And of course, Ernie Clement's been around for a couple of years now, following, he's very exciting. And you look at the team and the way that, their offense is going, they are electric. And they have a lot of guys hitting above league average. Bichette above league average. Springer, Heineman, Berger, Vladdy, Clement, Kirk. Everyone who's in the lineup every day is above league average besides Andres Jimenez and Miles Straw. Even Dalton Varsho, Nathan Lucas, both of which are on the injury reserve right now. And of course, you can see Jimenez makes it up with some of his defensive, abilities. And then of course you have everybody else. And the opposite is true for George Springer, one of the worst defenders in the league. The team is on an absolute tear, ladies and gentlemen. Ernie Clement did get some insight on some of his, his injury. He dove, landed on his knee. He left the game with what looked like a left knee issue, but he said he's okay. They just forced me to come out, just precautionary because we have the off day tomorrow. I mean, Clement's been he's been one of the best, players on the Toronto Blue Jays, and that's one of the biggest. He's gonna be one of the biggest contributors to this team if they're gonna continue to go on runs, specifically against lefties. Because now, ever since Addison Barger has really come up and been electric, you can really just play Ernie Clement against lefties, which he is absolutely fantastic against. Put Addison Barger at third base against righties, and they have a good platoon going there. And of course, Ernie can play against righties as well. He's an elite defender, one of the best in the league. So there's a lot of different moving pieces there, but Ernie is good. The Jays are good. And Alek Manoah faced live hitters today in Florida for the first time since Tommy John surgery. It went well. Big step as he approaches a late season return. I mean, there's a lot of, and it's crazy because the Jays are dealing with a ton of injuries. I mean, Dalton Varsho, Nick Sandlin, Jimmy Garcia, Alek Manoah, Max Scherzer, Anthony Santander. That's 6 guys. Dalton Varsho, of course, being one of the most crucial ones. He has been hitting a lot of the, against a lot of these pitchers who are recovering, I guess. And Alek Manoah was one of them. Max Scherzer was one of them. He seems to be doing good slowly but surely. Hopefully he comes back in the next couple of, weeks here. That would be kind of the goal. Maybe a week or two for Varsho. Could be longer. You get Varsho back in this lineup, folks, you're in a very, very good spot. And I already think that this team, they're going to add a starting pitcher. They're going to add some bats at the deadline, which is, the deadline's still a little bit away, a month and a half. But the way that this team is rolling, I mean, I can't help but be excited. 12-2 in their last 14. I mean, just an unbelievable record. And they're climbing up. I mean, the Yankees are on a tear as well. They've been winning the majority of their games. That's the unfortunate part of the AL East. They're still 4 games back as to the time of recording. But you have a lead, a bit of a cushion in the wild card spot. You obviously want to push for the AL East. It's possible. It's very, very possible. Now, a couple other things as well. I just want to throw this up here. This is team catchers by WAR. The Jays are number 2 in the league, and of course, that is majority carried by Alejandro Kirk. Number 1 is of course majorly carried by Cal Raleigh, whereas the Jays kind of split between Kirk and Heineman with how good Heineman has been. Is this sustainable? I think it is for Kirk. Heineman, we'll see if he comes back down to earth. But this has been a crucial part to the success for this Toronto Blue Jays team. Right, it has been their ability to be an elite catching tandem, an elite duo, there. And it ultimately comes back to what we're seeing here, which is not only elite play from every single player, but it's just a team collective effort. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be exciting, especially as the trade deadline approaches and the Jays continue to win. Enjoy the off day. More videos coming. Another video coming later today for you all. But enjoy the off day. Hopefully the Jays can take care of business in tomorrow's game. We'll have another video coming for you guys later. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on all of this. It's happening, folks. Scherzer's nearing a return. Varsho's nearing a return. Manoah's on, his road to recovery. Jimmy Garcia. Everybody. Anthony Santander hopefully can come back soon. But you guys have been beasts. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.